Vel is an alderman, comes on board in '57, and in talking to her in her younger days, she says she is walking the neighborhoods and she's finding that African Americans are complaining about not having decent housing and fair housing, and she wanted to come up with some way, legislative way, to insist that people have a right to have decent and fair housing.
Vel Phillips, in my opinion, was the start, because she was the one that got out there, and she was the one that experienced, her and her husband not being able to live where they wanted to live. And being a black professional at that time, that was an eye-opener.
I admired her tremendously. I was like, sometimes when she would get up and walk around and she'd sit in the chair, I'd go touch the chair. That's how much I admired her. She was very articulate. She was sharp as a button. Tiny. You would never think that so much power and force came out of such a young, little woman.
Vel Phillips' drive and tenaciousness not only sparked the movement, but it fueled the movement. Because whenever you saw Vel, who was small in stature, stand up on TV, or if you were in the presence when she was addressing the Common Council, she was very forthright. And when you got someone as forthright and as tenacious as Vel, you knew that you had to support her activities or her intentions.
I admired her from afar because I thought she was pretty, for one thing. I think she was very, very, very brave to do what she did back then. The status that she could have had, she tossed it to the wind for the thing, to do the thing that was right. She was a whippersnapper. That was my impression of her as a 14-year-old. She was very outspoken, and she was little, and she just didn't take any mess. She stuck her neck out for her people, and she made us want to do what we had to do.
I remember Vel Phillips as a member of the Common Council. There's actually archival news footage of her presenting the Fair Housing Bill that summer of 1967, before the confrontational marches across the viaduct, in which, dignified as she is, has always been, she almost loses it as she's making the case for why this bill should be passed and why the Common Council needs to listen to what people are saying in the Black community. And there's a moment at which she pauses and does something like that, grits her teeth, closes her eyes, takes a deep breath, and then goes on. And in that moment, you can see her struggle to maintain control, and that's my best Vel Phillips moment.
Val was a politician, came from a well-to-do home, went to law school, and the whole thing. She wasn't a part of the ghetto. But I guess because Val was Black, she understood what those who were less fortunate was going through. And so she made our battle her battle.